Call of Duty is not a milsim. This is something that doesn't even need to be said. We already know that Call of Duty is not about hardcore realism. But what a lot of people are looking for in Call of Duty currently is a little more consistency. Regardless of your subjective opinions on aesthetic and bundles and microtransactions, there's an objective juxtaposition between the marketed aesthetic and the current aesthetic in the game. For some reason, for some people, it's up for debate whether or not the skins on the people running around in the multiplayer game are affecting the aesthetic. I don't know how that's a debate, I don't know how that's an argument. If you are constantly fighting people in crazier and progressively crazier outfits with crazy guns firing tracers that turn into pentagrams or turn you into confetti when you die, that is affecting the aesthetic. Arguing that the visual things in the game aren't affecting the visual tone of the game is silly. Maybe I should put this in a way that appeals to you younger Gen Z crowd. It's harshing my vibe. Yeah, it's not the right vibes. On God, for real. One of my followers on Twitter has tweeted about the fact that he just wants a milsim toggle for the game, so he can toggle the milsim skins. We'll get to that more in a second, but there's actually a really strong argument for this, and you can just use Activision and Call of Duty's own marketing to do it. These are screenshots from the Call of Duty website. Its description of Black Ops 4 is the multiplayer raises the bar, delivering the most thrilling, grounded combat experience yet with a focus on tactical gameplay and player choice. For Black Ops Cold War, it says jump into a realistic and gritty world, off the books missions and off the record targets. Deniable operations lie at the heart of this multiplayer experience to build a unique but pure Black Ops experience with new modes and ways to play. Then for Vanguard, it says create and cement your legacy as Call of Duty's signature multiplayer experience launches an all-out assault on all fronts. Witness the rise of special forces as players drop into new locales with authentic World War II loadouts. Okay. Then for Modern Warfare 2, it says play Lone Wolf or rally with your team in immersive multiplayer combat complete with new locales and ways to play. When Call of Duty is throwing around terms like realism, immersion, tactical, authentic, that is marketing jargon. But it's still marketing. Am I that upset about this? No, not really. But asking for a realism filter or milsim filter or default skin filter at the very least that only shows the skins that launch with the game or that fit the milsim umbrella would solve the issue people are having with this really glaring juxtaposition. The label doesn't match what's inside the box, so you can fix that by having a toggle, and then it's like, hey, I only want to see default launch skins, or I only want to see milsim skins, and that would be really good. Now I know you're immediately going to type, you're immediately going to complain, you're immediately going to say, boom, they want to market those skins to people. They're not going to let you turn them off. That's how they're making most of their money. Think about that for a second. The only people that would go into their advanced game settings and turn off these skins are not exactly the people that want to buy these skins. The only people you're not able to market to are the people that want it gone. They want it dead. Yeah, that's just gonna make the game more enjoyable for them. They're gonna feel more respected as a player, and they weren't gonna buy your tacky skins anyway. And the idea that Call of Duty is just supposed to be silly, well, maybe you should tell Call of Duty's marketing team that. If they wanted to market Call of Duty as just something completely silly with light up skins and crazy tracer packs and death effects, then they should advertise that. But unfortunately, like I said, the label on the box does not match the contents within. So the solution is give the people that weren't going to buy those skins anyway the option to not see them anymore because they find them distracting, aesthetic breaking, tacky, cheapening. Some people would call it a scam or call it illegal, but it's just sort of scummy. It's just sort of cheap. It's tacky. It takes a franchise that used to be really grounded and would always put you in a time period, put you in a setting, put you in an aesthetic, put you in a world, and kind of makes it feel like it's desperately trying to get kids to spend money, which is what they're absolutely trying to do. But the kids that aren't kids, that are more adults, that don't want to spend that money, you're not losing a big part of the market by not advertising to them. And I think it's really funny that the player base will all of a sudden start to defend Activision and tacky microtransactions and stuff the moment like this comes up. It's almost like it's completely opposite of what you hear about AAA gaming. AAA gaming is greedy and predatory and bad until these skins are brought up, and then it's Call of Duty's supposed to be goofy. If you don't like it, just fucking don't play. Who cares? And like people get defensive over it. It seems like some people are actually identifying their in-game avatar with these skins, and it's actually a personal assault on them if you think it looks like a tacky piece of meme garbage. By the way, I'm probably gonna buy the Shredder skin, so just so you know that I'm not exactly on the full milsim side here, I just totally get this argument, and I really think that if you wanted a good solution other than telling people to suck it up, or what are you gonna do, hey, Activision, Call of Duty, Raven, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, just have the message of the day every time someone loads up the game for the first time be an advertisement for the current skins in the store. That way people that have all of those skins toggled off in their settings are still being advertised to. You're still potentially going to get one of them to turn that toggle off and buy one of the goofy ass skins because you are advertising to them and you're not missing that part of the market. The people that want their game to look like this and not like this aren't gonna buy this, so I think this is a pretty strong argument. Not only is there a juxtaposition between the marketed aesthetic and the aesthetic we see in-game, it's also a pretty strong argument to say that the people that want to use that type of toggle weren't gonna buy the goofy, tacky skins anyway. Infinity Ward puts so much work into aesthetics, so much work into detail and sound design, making the most immersive CODs of the last generation. And I know that this has sort of been a thing since like 2013 with just a rise in silliness every year. We didn't get a gritty Black Ops game, we didn't get an authentic World War II game, and now we have a Modern Warfare game that is already so much more tacky than Modern Warfare 2019 was. And just the ratio of goofy light up skins and crazy tracer effects to milsim skins that are grounded and make sense, the ratio is completely off. So large portions of the player base are feeling completely unheard. The thing they bought the game for, that detail, that tone, that aesthetic, the thing they were hoping would be preserved for at least a little longer than it has been, they're let down. And I think ignoring that part of the community is a really good example as to why I don't like calling the COD community a community. There isn't a lot of common unity. It's a player base that all have different views of a product. The product happens to be a big electronic toy. If the look and tone of a game didn't matter, then they wouldn't bother marketing it anyway. They wouldn't use screenshots, they wouldn't use trailers, they wouldn't use certain types of music, they wouldn't put so much work into fine details and animations. If looks didn't matter, we would know. Unfortunately, they do. Again, how is AAA gaming and Activision so greedy and bad and predatory until it comes into skins and then it's put up with it, deal with it, who cares, stop whining. It's really weird. Whether you like the crazy skins or not, I thought we were all on the same page that this is done for money, not to preserve the quality of the game. And artistic quality should not be a scoffed at concept. If I don't want to fight someone that looks like a NASCAR pit crew or a dumbass Power Ranger, or this, then yeah, I should be able to toggle that off. I paid for the game just like everyone else did, and I don't think that you bought the skin in order to show it to people that didn't like it anyway. And they're not gonna market those skins to people that didn't want to buy them anyway. So it's a pretty soundproof argument, and I don't know why I'm getting so defensive before I've even finished making this video and uploading it. I think the reason might be that every time I've brought this up, I get the worst backlash from people that clearly don't care, but don't like that someone else cares. That type of bickering and arguing where they don't really care, but they just don't like that you do, I don't have a lot of patience for it, so I guess I'm getting out in front of that a little bit. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, unless you disagree, in which case I get to brand you the Activision shill, because honestly, it just feels really good to call someone else that instead of being called that. Anyway, goodbye!